late after whiskey jam. Too many filters on the pictures for the Instagram with the fake lips and the.
Yeah, no, it's really good right out of the box.
So this truly is an auto-tune killer and a Melodyne killer. This is Seeger Rawls. I'm Billy Decker. Welcome to Phoenix Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, where we are going to be test driving MetaTune.
This is the interface here. This is the plugin in full. It is just a one-page application here. We'll get into everything. First, I will bypass it.
But most of these girls just straight cloud chasing. They try to lock down somebody famous. Ooh, lemon drop crop top.
Cool. So jumping into MetaTune on the main vocal. Taking off the bypass.
Looks cool.
Yeah, no, it's super...
Great interface.
Yeah, super neat, super modern, sick to look at. Very, very easy to use, very simple stuff. So basically, right out of the gate, retune speed is the main thing you're going to see in every tuning plugin. This is a mix knob, straight up 0 to 100, and then the sustain feature we'll actually talk about. It's a really, really sick feature. I absolutely adore it. So everybody knows higher values on here or lower values closer to 0 are going to be more artificial tuning, more forced tuning, whereas lower or higher number values will be more transparent, more natural, softer tuning.
So if you go super high, that'll be like the T-Pain everybody knows? Okay.
Yeah, so when we're pushing down to 0 here, Slate actually has negative values, so after you've made it to 0, you can keep cranking it up and going negative for like ultra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like ultra tight, ultra T-Pain. I guess for cool stuff, man. I mean, it makes cool sounds. Every genre's a little bit different. So
so could we hear that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. We can just turn it on. It's not set to a key yet. The first thing to talk about is setting the key. Very cool way to do a lot of this. It's mostly this section here combined with these listen tools, basically. So you can go single note and click here.
Oh, nice.
And you can turn this up if it's too quiet.
Yeah.
And the cool part is if you want to check to see, maybe you don't know your key, maybe you don't know exactly what's happening, you need to see maybe some major chords, you can click on the major chord, or you can use the hold feature to listen to several different ones. Same deal with the minor.
Minor.
Real nice.
So play the song real quick.
Sure.
For like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
This is how I always find the key.
Cloud chasing. They try to lock down somebody famous.
Okay, so that note is our key and it's major.
Yeah.
So just find that.
That's that
right
A.
there. Hey.
Yeah, precisely.
Key of A.
How
easy is that?
Decker knows this, not his first rodeo. So basically to set that key, you have tons of different ways to do it. Very easy right here. You could just select A major. But another really cool way is by clicking the note feature here and clicking the A key.
Okay.
Or sorry, that's going to set it. I need to click the major feature, A, and now we are in A major, set up to be 100% there. To hear that the tuning speeds, we'll go ahead and play back now that we're in the right key.
Okay.
These girls just straight cloud chasing. They try to lock down somebody famous. Ooh, lemon drop, crop top, throwing up at the park racing. They try to lock down somebody famous. Ooh, lemon drop, crop top, throwing up at the parking lot. Caption hashtag Nash Vegas. They're always staying too late after whiskey jam. Too many filters on the pictures for the Instagram with the fake lips and the.
Yeah, no, it's really
cool.
good. Right out of the box, a solid like anywhere between 20. So they say that between 200 and 20 is basically your transparent real range.
Okay.
200 being the least, 20 being the most. Once you cross that 20 threshold, you basically start getting into more of a maybe a pop style or even rap style, hip hop style, R&B, whatever you want to call it. The harder tuning where it's less transparent, more intentional, basically.
Okay,
so,
what do we do next?
Yeah, great stuff. So I would start somewhere in this range. And we know we're in the right key. We found it. We've showed you how to set it. Very cool stuff. We basically just start talking about settings, things that it can do. So I like to mix 100% here and just listening to it in the right key. A couple of notable features that I personally love about it. This input and output section right here shows you a heat map of where your vocals are landing. The first one, the input, is what's happening from the vocalist, what Slate MetaTune is hearing. And the second one for the output is where it's putting it. So you can see that we're on this E, F sharp, G sharp, it's all centered around here and it's tightening it up versus the original performance that's dancing around these notes a little more.
All right.
So just simply like
Most
that.
these girls just straight clout chasing. They tryna lock down somebody famous.
Nice.
Yeah, real clean, real good, right out of the gate. Another feature to talk about before we move on is the sustain feature. So the way I understand this is lower values are going to set this threshold that you can see right here. You can see that increasing and decreasing as I go negative and positive. The negative values are for the more realism. So what's going to happen here is when he is sustaining a note, where the vocal will naturally vibrato or even pitch fall, it's going to use this threshold to automatically decrease or increase your retune speed to allow that natural stuff to happen, whereas in maybe an auto tune, if you're in a auto mode, and you try to do that same thing, you might get some flutter or some back and forth,
Sure.
and it's
All the time.
you've heard it. I mean, we've all heard it.
Yeah.
So I
terrible.
don't think that he sustains a ton of notes on here, but you'll still see it dance in this threshold where it's automatically dropping that down to allow the natural vocal to retain natural and stay in key.
These girls just straight clout chasing. They tryna lock down somebody
there you go.
famous.
Yeah, especially when
Normally
it says
that
lock
would
right
get
there.
pulled,
Instead of
crazy
lock,
noise.
yeah, instead of him going up and down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love it. And then vice versa, you could literally increase this to take realism out of it and make flutters happen and do things with your key. While we're talking about key, it's worth mentioning that you can override this thing and make custom keys. It's very, very easy as literally clicking the note feature and telling the key to be in or out if you need to add a note or subtract a note from your key for any kind of reason. Another feature you'll see often is this pitch reference. If for any reason you don't go by the standard
440.
Yeah, the 440. If you're like a 432 guy or whatever you want to do, you can actually shift that and it will respect that and honor it.
Okay.
Then you have basic view controls down here. The note stabilizer is one of the last main features. This is kind of cool because what it's trying to do is emulate some stuff that happens in graph mode in AutoTune. Basically choosing to neglect or ignore certain notes that would be jumping around where the vocal may do a dip down at the beginning of a note or something of the sort. It's note stabilizer is going to help you also avoid that flutter doing the same thing by, I think the values are 40 milliseconds, 80 milliseconds, and 200 milliseconds, where it's going to ignore. It says exactly right here, does not correct notes shorter than 200 milliseconds.
Okay.
Useful on vibratos, but can't affect the melody because something that slow on a faster melody could confuse it essentially.
Gotcha.
So worth checking out. It does introduce latency. It's inevitable. So if you're tracking through it, maybe not a good idea, but in the mixing phase, you can absolutely use it. I believe it's 280 milliseconds of latency standard, but without using that feature, the rest of the plugin is a zero latency plugin.
Gotcha.
It should all be totally good.
Okay.
So great, we have some basic settings and we know that the main vocal sounds cool. We can look at another feature on the double if you're cool with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
It's got a doubler built in?
Yeah, no, and it's one of the best ones I've ever heard straight up.
Really?
So that we have this chorus double track here, and this might be for an application where you say, I have one double instead of a left-right unison double or anything that you could see in the chorus, and I want to hear maybe a left-right stereo effect with the doubler. So I'm going to use this double track, which is the exact same thing as the main, to show you that feature. Right here, I'm just going to copy this MetaTune over, so it will stay with the same keys, same settings and everything, but we also are going to get to the grouping feature, which is extremely powerful. So this doubler, very simple, dry, wet, and width. You can adjust these individually by dragging these little meters, or you can grab this circle and go anywhere in the plane to use them. My favorite setting, it is literally just a dry wet. So if you're at 50% here, you're literally at 50% main, 50% doubler effect.
Okay.
I like to go 100% both ways because I'm going to use my main vocal to do exactly that, be the main. So just a check of how this sounds when I turn the doubler up.
But most these girls just straight clout chasing. They tryna lock down somebody famous. Ooh, let me.
Super clean.
I was gonna say that's a good double for a
Oh yeah, for artificial.
fake. Yeah.
So I'll take this fader down right here and rock my double into my main vocal.
Drop, crop top, throwing up at the parking lot. Caption hashtag Nash Vegas. They're always saying.
Tons of width. Doesn't sound super fake or phasey like a lot of them do. Absolutely could be used in a mix. Very, very easy, very, very fluid. So that's it. That's the plugin in a nutshell. We're going to talk about the groups, but I mean, that is what it does and how simply that it does it. so you don't have to, I mean, I use graph mode on auto-tune all the time, and I do the manual tuning, but this, I feel, will take a lot of that
Take care of it.
uncertainty or that guesswork out of it, or the trust thing, you know, where like you put on auto-tune, you're like, I hope it works, and then you might have to go in and fix certain
So
things.
this truly is an auto-tune killer and a Melodyne killer.
Yeah, I mean, everything's got its purpose, but this plugin is seriously really sick. So let's talk about the groups, if you're cool with it.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So very easy. I could bring in another instance of MetaTune right here, and this is going to be a completely new instance. It has no key, it has no settings.
Right.
But if I have settings on my mains that I want to copy over to my harmonies, obviously the key, or even automating key changes is super easy through this because you just tell one instance of a group.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past we had to copy, paste, or drag it over 10,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to get an auto tune and tell it, alto, tenor, soprano, whatever, key, whatever. Now with the version of AutoTune Pro that came out, they do that auto key thing that can snap to the versions of AutoTune in the project, but nevertheless, you still have to go make sure everyone is doing exactly that.
Okay.
In each instance of the plugin.
Right.
For this, it is very, very powerful feature right here. 4 sets of groups, and you very simply just go to your main, whichever one you want to lead the group, and tell it that it is group 1.
Okay.
Now, you can go to any other version you have, or when you're setting up the versions, copy and pasting, whatever you choose to do, all you have to do is click group 1, and bam, I snapped to my settings, my sustain, my key, everything's totally cool. And if I had doublers, or if I had, groups of doublers, I'd put those in group 2. And then everything would, yeah, absolutely. So
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
just like that,
nice.
I can copy these over to all of my harmonies and trust that all of my harmonies are in A major and have the exact same settings that I've told it to. You can see I have 7 instances in group 1,
That's
excluding my double that I could call group 2, and then I could do more doubles, whatever I would want to do. But it is across the board done, and I can turn these harmonies on and anticipate they are in tune and everything's great.
But most these girls just straight clout chasing. They tryna lock down somebody famous. Ooh, lemon drop crop
Too easy. Turning the song back on.
top, throwing up in the parking lot. Caption hashtag Nash Vegas. They're always staying too late after whiskey jam. Too many filters on the pictures for the Instagram with their fake lips and their fake.
And that's it. I mean, that is the entire plugin. There are little nuances and tricks and preset selections, everything. You can keep your scale with it, low latency mode. But I mean, it's very simple to use, very powerful, and I think it's gonna be really, really sick.
There you have it, folks. All the way from Nashville, Tennessee, Billy Decker, Seeger Rawls at Phoenix Studio, putting MetaTune through the paces. We both love it. We hope you do too.